everybody. Welcome to The Take. I'm your host, Krishna Mano, and I am pumped because today is our first actual episode. So let's get right into it with our first segment, Deep Takes. Today, we'll be diving deep into the topic of climate change. And while this is a popular phrase that surfaces frequently in conversation, not many people fully realize its seemingly innocent causes and its brutal, devastating effects. And I'm not over-exaggerating. According to the Climate Chat, 3 out of every 10 Americans do not think that the climate is changing. And this is something that is concerning our everyday lives. Here are some examples. If Congress is signing a new bill, will it help or harm climate change? Building a factory for those rip-off t-shirts to sell in the black market? How does it affect climate change? Create the tools necessary to animate whatever these things are? Will it negatively impact the climate? Clearly, it is something that hovers over us, quite literally and figuratively. So let's enter the world of climate change. So what exactly is climate change? Climate change is the change in the usual weather pattern for a specific region on the Earth. And according to the World Meteorological Organization, the world is about 1 degree Celsius warmer than before widespread industrialization, or when human existence became largely dependent on businesses and factories. And that may not sound like much of a problem, but let's look at an example of a consequence. When we look into this, an increase in heat obviously leads to melting glaciers and ice caps, and when ice is melted, it turns into water. This water can't just mix in with the rest of the ocean. Instead, it overflows into what's right next to it, which is land. This causes mass flooding into cities that are on the borders of water and land, including Los Angeles, Miami, and San Francisco, just in the US. Now that we've cleared up the definition of climate change, let's go a little deeper into what causes it. The main cause is the greenhouse effect, along with these planes that say the most random things on Earth, like Snapple or Chipotle. There are also various gases in the atmosphere that allow the sunlight's heat to reach us, but it also traps some of that heat above, kind of like the glass walls of a greenhouse. When there's an increased amount of these gases in the atmosphere, more heat is trapped, which increases the Earth's temperature. Some other leading causes of climate change include deforestation, fossil fuels, and intensive agriculture. All these reasons have caused the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere to increase by over a third since the Industrial Revolution, which started in the 1840s. Moreover, 16 of the 17 hottest years on record have all been in the 21st century. Now that we know about what creates climate change in our world, let's delve inside the effects on our environment and our society. Changes in weather patterns can cause negative effects for ecosystems and oceans, crops grown by farmers, and our health. It can also cause extreme weathers, natural disasters, droughts, flooding, like we discussed before, and smog. To be clear about this last one, hotter temperatures cause an increase in ozone particles, which is the basis for smog. And smog, as you might know, causes congestion and severe lung and heart disease. And I know that before this I listed the main causes of changes in the climate. But to be honest, rather than looking at the direct causes, we should be looking at who's behind those reasons. And that answer is unfortunately us. As Richard Williams, a rapper and social activist, puts it, for a National Geographic video, if you condense the lifespan of the Earth into 24 hours or a day, then humans have been alive for a mere 3 seconds. And look at what we've caused. Deforestation, fossil fuels, increased farming. It all comes down to us. But thankfully, it's also up to us to stop it. We can do so much to help reduce the rates at which our Earth is spiraling out of control. The easiest way is to use energy wisely. Replace normal light bulbs with energy-efficient ones. Make sure to turn off or unplug appliances and technologies when you're not using them, and the list could go on and on. And if it still isn't convincing enough, it also saves you those green leaves, both the ones on trees and the ones in your wallets. Reduced energy consumption also leads to reduced energy bills. So what's there to lose by switching to an environment-friendly lifestyle? We can also transition away from fossil fuels and phase into using environment-friendly forms of energy, like windmills, solar panels, hydropower, and other forms of renewable resources. So, to recap, climate change is the change in weather patterns around us. It is unfortunately caused by us, but can fortunately be solved by us. And if people continue to step up for Mother Nature, we can sign bills without having to worry about climate change. We can build factories for rip-off shirts. And for those who are entertained by it, we can continue animating an orange moose, a purple kangaroo, a yellow hippo, a blue penguin, and whatever this is. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please support the channel by liking and subscribing. I'll see you in the next episode.